Hey everybody, and welcome back to another What's Its Face. Today I want to talk about the graphic novels. It's pretty awesome that Wings of Fire is popular enough and successful enough for them to get their own series of graphic novels, and it's even more impressive that they continued into Arc 2 instead of just stopping after the first 5 books. I think it'll be really interesting to see if Arc 3 gets an adaptation, considering the mixed response to that arc, but we'll see where it goes. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with the graphic novels. I haven't really kept up with them very well. I read 1 and part of 2, and I own book 4, but that's it. I actually want books 3, 5, and 6, and those are the 3 I haven't gotten yet, which is ironic, but anyways. Although the art of them isn't perfect, and there are definitely some wonky panels and designs, that's par for the course when confronted with a project this massive. Not to mention, they're pumping out these books quite fast. The fact that there's any consistent quality is all as impressive in itself. Plus, after a while, I have to admit the art style grows on you. And by now, the artistic team has had time and practice to flesh out their style. The first book may have been a little weird, but so is the early stage of any project. My only other concern with the art is something I've seen occurring more and more recently, but only with a few select designs. Orca comes to mind. I just see a lot of people following the book design instead of doing what is a bit of an older trend and giving her a much more Orca-inspired design. I used to worry this would be a more prevalent issue, that people would quit making their own unique designs and just follow the graphic novels, which would be a loss because one of the fun things about this fandom is how uniquely everyone designs the various characters. However, I don't think this has happened very much at all, or at least it's only happened with a few select characters. I think everyone is still coming up with their own designs for the most part. So as far as the actual art goes, I'm really quite happy with the graphic novels. It's a cute art style for sure, and it definitely has a unique look to it that makes it stand out very well stylistically. And given the few that I've read, I think they're doing a pretty good job summing up the important information from the books. Of course, with any transition from a written to a visual medium, you're going to lose something in the translation, but it's definitely possible to do it correctly, and I think Wings of Fire is doing that right now. Honestly, if we had to pick between a Wings of Fire show and the graphic novels, I would stick with the novels for several reasons. For one, as we've seen, shows are difficult and costly to produce, especially right now. You get a lot more bang for your buck when you stick with graphic novels. Shows take time, a lot of people, cooperation from big corporations, and lots of money. And as we've seen, even with all that, sometimes it doesn't go the way we want it to. Also, with a show, there's the pretty worrying possibility that the plotline will have to be chopped into pieces and taped back together to fit in the limited screen time available. I mean, look at the plot of the first arc. That's not gonna make it through a show unscathed. Things are going to be cut, simply because there won't be enough time to cover them. And that's if they get a really good writer in there. If there's a subpar writing team, we're looking at a show much worse. Plus, with a series like Wings of Fire, a TV show is either going to have to be scrubbed of a lot of fight scenes and darker themes, or it's going to have to be marketed to a smaller group of people. Some shows like Dragon Prince and others have managed to appeal to a wide crowd and keep some violence, but I don't think Wings of Fire would work as well. Things like Scarlet's Arena, Duels for Queens, Rainwing Venom, the Nightwings experimenting on Rainwings, heck, even basic things like battle scenes in the Mudwing Icewing battle aftermath in Book 1. These things would either have to be cut or unrecognizably changed. The graphic novels don't have to worry about this. For a show as well, you'll have to take into account the animation. Wings of Fire is pretty detail-heavy. It can be simplified, of course, but then are we left with a bulky 3D show like How to Train Your Dragon and whatever they're doing right now? An anime askew show like The Dragon Prince or Avatar? Chances are the animation wouldn't be anything unique, simply due to budgeting and time constraints. Once again, the graphic novels suffer none of these issues. It's a much smaller scale project. Lately, something that I've been noticing is that a lot of the newer shows coming out, or at least to me, seem like they're subpar quality, and a lot of the newer graphic novels coming out seem like they're getting a lot of attention and love. Plus, call me old-fashioned and a little hypocritical given my internet hobby, I think kids should be on screens less than they are right now. Screens are bad for your eyes, I can attest to that, and I think kids should be reading books, not glued to the phone or TV. Again, I know this is old-fashioned, but so am I. But of course, this isn't the only thing to take into consideration, and it isn't the only reason why I like the graphic novels so much. I think they just greatly expand the potential audience for Wings of Fire. Something I've been realizing lately is just how difficult it is for some kids to get through long-form literature. I was a pretty avid reader when I was younger, and I was definitely ahead of my grade for it. However, I've taught kids who struggle with reading, and one of my own brothers has reading impairments, so I've come to really appreciate the value of graphic novels and books like them, Books that still present long-form fictional work that's better for older kids to be consuming, but with pictures to break up the text and keep kids interested. Books like these are key to keeping kids involved in reading and teaching them that reading isn't an unreachable goal. I cannot stress enough how much graphic novels have helped my younger brother pick up reading. Plus, they're fun to read for other people, too. I mean, I've picked up a graphic novel plenty of times when I want to read a longer story, but don't have time for an entire book. So overall, I'm quite happy with the graphic novels. I think they're an excellent addition to the series, and they'll further expand Tui's reach. Not to mention, from a marketing point of view, they keep Wings of Fire relevant, even while she doesn't have an arc in progress, like right now. Wings of Fire is still on the shelves of bookstores without her having to work too hard and overtax readers' concentration. And graphic novels are really only just starting to take off. There's a lot less competition in that category right now than there are in regular junior fiction, or even in TV shows. Anyways, what do you guys think about the graphic novels? Do you enjoy them, or do you prefer the written books? And which one is your favorite, and why? Would you rather see a Wings of Fire show, or more graphic novels? Please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe to see more like it. Check out the description for links to my Redbubble and DeviantArt. Thanks so much for watching, and please have a blessed week.